Next one, we have discussed till this point yesterday. uh, we have seen a small now how to install your JDK Scala, and then we also seen how to open Scala, open your command prompt. Just type Scala here. If anybody working from CloudX Lab, what you can do is you can practice in the CloudX Lab as well. It's not like you need to install this, but getting some idea how to deal with the Eclipse and how to work on Eclipse is also very useful to you. But it's up to you. Okay, which one you want to use. If you want to run Scala in a CloudX, then you can continue. See if you can run Eclipse from CloudX. If you have any such option there, you try there. It's also useful. Then what else? This is your Scala prompt. But for to install Java and Scala and Eclipse, you don't need to be you don't need high configuration, just minimal configuration. Keep in mind. Okay. So today I'll continue. We had discussed the keyword topic yesterday. Now I'm continuing with the constants. Okay. So what is constant in any language, not just Scala, and why do we need constants? Okay. So generally, a constant is a fixed value. Is that constant is a fixed value? That is one thing. Usually, we have two different types of constants here. Sorry, three different types of constants. So one is character constants. Okay. The second one is numeric constants, and then the third one is Boolean constants. So these are the three different types of constants. One more thing is, if you go to Python, you have complex numbers. Usually, they are very much useful for you to analyze, to do analysis when you are working with machine learning algorithms, complex numbers, or some deep learning somewhere there. But here we don't have any complex numbers. Okay, we have three different types because it almost follows Java. Even in Java, the same constants exist. But the way we declare data, the variables here is a bit different from Java. The Java is strictly typed language, whereas this is dynamically typed. Means even if you don't specify data type, it will automatically take the data type. It will choose the data type. Okay, Scala will automatically choose it. You don't need to put semicolon here, but in Java, semicolon is must. That way, if you talk about Java, Java is strictly typed, whereas Scala is not like that. It is very simple and most simplified. And one more advantage of Scala is usually you prefer Scala if you want to go for high optimization of code. Usually people say that, right? If you want less lines of code, okay, then Scala is one of the most preferred language. This is highly useful when you are dealing with data analytics. Scala is very powerful when you are working with the analytics applications, like cleaning data or processing data. Okay, here in such areas, Scala is the most preferred language. Right. So coming back to the constants, we have three types of constants here: character, then numeric, and then boolean. What is character here? It means all this, like alphabets. Okay, then special symbols, and then words, and then visits. All this comes under character. That all this comes under character type of data. Okay. Might be if you ask me, digit is a number, sir. Then why you are saying that it is a character? See, it is a number, no doubt about it. But even numbers can be characters in certain situations. When you put them in quotes, in single quote or double quote, times it becomes a character. Okay. But usually, if you don't use quotes, it's a numeric value. But if you are keeping something in quotes, it's a character. Understand, right? Is it clear now? So now let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. So here we have two types of characters again. Okay. Again, here we can divide into two types. One is a single character constant. Suppose if you go to in all other languages, it is same, but in except in where except mm, Python. Python has everything as string only. There is no single character and string there. So what all the character type of data in Python is a string. But here it is even but in Java, in C, in C++, in C sharp, this traditional languages, what we call. So all the compiled languages have two types of characters, single character and a string, string constant. So what is a single character constant? If single letter is enclosed in single quotes, is that if a single letter is enclosed in single quotes, then what do you call this as? We call this as a single character constant. Okay, like this, folks. Like something in quotes like this, something in this thing like this, something like this. Okay, if you see here, one is in quotes, A is in quotes, asterisk is in quotes. Suppose I take 10 in quotes. Is it a single character or is it valid? Actually, first thing, I put 10 in quotes here. Do you think it's a valid single character constant or invalid? As per definition, you should have only one character in single quote. But when you say 10, it will assume two characters. 1 and 0 are treated as two different characters. So this is not valid in Scala. Okay, but all others are valid here. We can quickly test them. Let us test quickly like the behavior. So some val space uh, a colon. See, I'm just using uppercase here. Char equal to some in single quotes here. Can you see that it's printing and give a value in single quotes. Here, if you say I put one in single quotes, then this is a character. You are following, right? What did I do here? I put one in single quotes. So now what is this now? Is it a number or a character? When something in quotes, it is always a character. It's not a following, right? Clear, right? So in this here, it is a character. Suppose you remove quotes for a variable, sorry, a number, then this is numeric. When you enclose a number in quotes, it becomes character. You have to be clear with these differences. Okay. Now, I have just declared an example and shown to you. Because to declare character, we use this char class. Which class do we use? We use a class called char. So how do you declare character type of data? Next one. It is a class here. It is not a keyword like in Java or C++ or C sharp or C. Okay, like all other traditional languages. Okay, it is just a, what is it? It is a class. It's not a keyword here. You can see the C is uppercase here. Observe carefully. Understood? No. This is how you declare a character type of data. You can start. You can also test parallelly with me. Now keep testing with me just to see how it works. Okay. Suppose one small quick question. I give some 10 here. This is a 200% in value. Can you see that when I give two digits in code, single quotes, saying
Mano,
character literally.
uh,
Yes, please.
yeah, sorry for interrupt. Please stop this video sharing, right?
Which one?
Video sharing, your video, I think.
Okay, okay,
Is on.
okay. I don't know that. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for what do you call the reminding. Okay, thank you. So now, what is that we are talking here? If you look at this in the single quotes, we put two characters here. How many characters are here? Two characters. As per definition here, if you look at this, what is it saying here? If single letter is enclosed in single quotes, but how many characters we are taking here? We are taking two characters. So that's why it is not legal. So we get compilation. Understood now? Next one after this. Let's move to the string here. What is string here? Generally, when you talk about string, it will be like this. They say that group of characters in double quotes. What is that? Group of characters in double quotes. But the easiest definition to remember string is anything in double quotes is a string. What is it? Anything in double quotes is a string. Okay, let me just explain that. Anything in double quotes is a string. So now let us take a small example here. You put in double quotes some ABC 1, 2, 3, and then you can take some alphanumeric ABC 1, 2, 3. You can take something like the special characters like this, some surface. You can keep anything in double quotes. It's not like. So the easiest way to remember is whatever you keep in double quotes, it's a string. Okay, you put character type of data, numeric type of data, or alphanumeric, or anything special characters. Everything is treated as what, folks? Is treated as a string. Is it clear, right? Next one. So one thing is important here. I'll just ask you a quick question. People usually ask about string is please do share screen. Hey, you are seeing my screen or not? Somebody is asking me to share the screen. I was little confused.
No, we are able to see.
Yeah, I think Manik, Manchand, there is no issue. I'm sharing the screen actually.
Okay, so but it's showing for me no screens or camera had been shared.
Yeah, you do one thing. You close and again you try to reconnect again. So definitely it will help. Okay,
Okay.
right. You try it one more time. Understood? Right. Okay, fine. Where am I discussing here? I'm talking about string. So when something in double quotes are is string, and I'm asking a question actually. What is that question? Suppose I take only just single character in double quotes. Is it valid or invalid? Just answer this question.
Valid one.
Okay, that's good. Because if it is a single character, only just one character is allowed. You cannot have more than that. But in a string, you might have single character, or you might have zero characters. Okay, you didn't put anything. It can be empty as well. This is space at least. That's a character. You can have two spaces, or you don't need to give anything inside that quotes. Still, it works. And how do you declare this string in string where? String in Scala by using a class called string itself. How do you do that? By using a class called, what is a class here? A string. Okay, let's test it now. If you don't understand, just ask me. Okay, you can ask me to repeat it, and we can discuss one more time. But so far, I don't think you have such issue. Something like name colon. You can just say string, because yesterday we have a discussion like how to declare variables, right? That keyword var or val first, and then variable name, and then followed by colon, and then data type equal to some value. Okay, name, give some name here. What is that name you give? You give like what do you give here, guys? Something I'm giving as one of it here. So it's printing it. You can give something in a single character. Just say one character. It works. You give nothing here, still it works. See, I give one space, it works. I give two spaces, it works. See, we can declare string in different ways. You give just a number. Now I put 123 in quotes. Could you tell me now if it is in quotes, is it a number or is it a string now? I have something in quotes. Tell me, is it a number or a string? Because this is the most confusion point to many people when they start learning program. So
It's a string.
this is a number or a string? This is actually a number. Is it sorry, this is a string. This is a string. So why? Because I told you clearly, if anything is in quote, if it is in single quote or double quote, okay, then it is a string. It's not a number. If your digit is not in quotes, then it is a number. That is the clear difference between when a digit is a number and when a digit is a string. Clear, right? If a digit is in quotes, it's a string or it's a character. If it is in single quote, it is a character. If it is in double quote, it's a string. Okay, if it is not in quotes, then it is a number. Okay, be clear with this. Okay, that's it. So somebody is asking me what is difference between var and val. So we know the hope. See, we know the var is something which makes your variable mutable. Means you can change it. Val is something which is not mutable, which is immutable. Means you cannot change your variable when you declare it as val. That is the difference. Okay. So anyhow, I will upload video. Go through the video once. Yesterday I couldn't do that because we have a lot of work yesterday. So that's the idea about character constants here. We have done with that. And usually, how do you declare single character? we declare with a class called scar here. You can see a C uppercase. Starting letter, observe this carefully. We declare a string. How do you declare string? By using a class called string, and S is uppercase here. Which is uppercase? S is uppercase here. Means every class starts with uppercase here. Now numeric. Let me close it quickly. Usually all numbers minus infinity to plus infinity are numeric. All numbers minus infinity to plus infinity are what? Numbers. And we have two types of numbers here. One is integer, the second one is decimal. Integer means number without fraction, and number without fraction. Let me tell you one thing, folks. Just understand the importance of programming. Of course, many people don't know anyhow. Okay, but after your session, I will do one Java session. Usually, I don't do Java sessions. I am doing it because one of my very old student he wants it because he is working for a ETL plus big data related project, and for him to do this, all this kind of transformations, all that they have to convert from Scala to Java. So, and he intentionally because he need that. Usually people understand the importance of something only when you need it. Until then, even though how good it is, how useful it is, you don't show the interest. But what I request is focus on all these things. It's Java, Scala. If you are really good with one language, then you can play with anything. That is one. Second thing, that guy exclusively, you know, uh, wanted me to take a session, and because programming is something which always somewhere you need it. One thing what I heard from him is might be he can manage his work for some time, but if he comes to a place like India and start working in projects without having proper programming background, it's difficult. Okay, he is also paying very good money for me because money. I'm not bringing this to bring in a commercial point here. The point is, so we are doing all this with lot of passion. So try to concentrate, try to apply, try to become productive. That is what my point is. Got it right? So if you have any doubts or something, try to clarify it. Okay, that is very important. So now going back to the point here, integer. What is integer here? Number without fraction. You are using it from school days, sir. You don't need to be a master of mathematics here. Minimum basic student, 35 mark student is enough here. Integer, no fraction like 20, 30, okay, minus 7, minus 10. All these are integers, number without fractions. Such thing we call it as integer. And in this Scala, we declare integer with four classes. Okay, usually in Java also we use 4 keywords. Usually in Java these are called as wrapper classes. No, I am just giving a quick comparison to you, so that you get a quick idea. What do you call them in Java here? Wrappers. But in Scala they are data types because everything in Scala is an object. So here even primitives are objects. Okay. Now we have to declare integer type data. We have 4 different classes here. One is a byte class. Another one is a short class. Another one is a int class. Another one is long class. If you ask me, sir, why we have so many data types here? If you look at char, the single char and string, we have just only one data type for each type. But for integer, okay, there is a small typo here. Let me correct it. We have 4 different keywords. Why it is like that? Because depends on size. Okay, because there is a difference in size as well as range. That by default, most of the time we prefer to use int, and in some cases we prefer to use long. And it's very rare we use byte and short. But while doing conversions, sometimes byte is also very useful to us. Okay. So point is there's a change in size and range here. That's why we use these data types. Okay. We'll talk about everything in data types topic. I'm quickly explaining like for what data, which data type we should use, so that you get a clear picture about the data and the data type we should use. What is data type here? Data types tells about data. Somebody is asking wrapper. Ram is asking what is wrapper. Wrapper is something like this. Should I explain this? You want me to explain? Okay, that's in Java, not in Scala, because by Scala, everything, all these are given as data types, not as wrappers. Okay, if you want to quickly learn, wrapper is something, Ram. You eat chocolates, right? Generally, you put that chocolate inside some wrapper only. That is also a wrapper. We call it as a wrapper. You know, Usually primitives means something which is a raw data. What is that? Primitive values means same numeric, same character, same decimal, everything is same. But the difference is when you say primitive, I can directly say 10, 20, and these are not objects. Just they are primitive values. Okay, like we can consider it as a raw data. Okay, something okay, which is very primitive. Now I need to convert this primitive data to object form. Then if I should do that, so what do I do now? I apply a wrapper. Wrapper means what? It's like, what should I tell you? If you take an example of any example like with wrappers in real life, okay, let us quickly compare it with some wrappers. You have a chocolate without cover. Assume that. How it looks like? That is actually primitive value. You put a cover to that. Then how it look like? Okay, it looks like an object. Then what is the advantage of converting it to object? Advantage is, suppose you have a chocolate without cover. The possibility is it might be, you know, it might attract dust. Dust might fall on that chocolate, or it might fall here and there, and it might become, bad for eating. Okay, and suppose if you want to transport it, the chocolate, direct transportation causes to cause some many infections, isn't it? When you put a wrapper, what happens? It has security to that chocolate, isn't it, or not? Same thing. If you apply same principle to programming, if it is a primitive, here we don't get infections because this is programming, right? Or here we don't get dust here. But what is it? Sometimes in programming, you need data not as primitive but as object, so that we can use it in certain type of programming, like collections. Collections in Java completely expects what it expects. They expect objects. And similarly, if I want transport data through network, wrapper data is best for us rather than primitive data. So means what? I am converting this primitive to wrapper classes. Means what happens? Wrapper is an object form of your primitive data. That is in Java, not in Scala, because in Scala by default all these are data types. Of course, all these are classes. Understood here? We don't have a primitive data here. There is no point of doing any conversion from primitive to wrappers here. But what is this wrapper now? Wrapper is used to convert. Wrappers are classes which are used to convert a primitive type of data to a what type? To a object type. So we have int data. Okay, we have int that is actually primitive. Then it converts to integer. Got it right? So, and then for that, how do you convert it to integer? We create an object like this. I'm just showing you integer. So I know this is a bit of, if you don't understand, leave it, guys, because somebody is asking, I'm explaining. So integer of 10 like this. Then this 10 is a primitive. When I pass it to a constructor, this is called constructor. You understand all this. Just you don't need to worry about what all this is. When I say constructor, just listen, that's all. And remember, don't understand. Okay, this is something constructor. And I am passing it to a constructor, this 10. and this becomes a, when you say new space something, a new space something, it becomes what here? It becomes an object. Okay. Now this primitive got converted to what? This primitive got converted to object. Got it right? And this is a wrapper. This is what we call what, gentlemen? What do you call this as? This is wrapper. What is it? A wrapper. But you don't need to do all this kind of conversion, uh, all this type of activity in Scala. Why? Because you have by default everything is a class and everything is an object. You don't need to do any conversions. But in Java, all these conversions are there. So even this is also one more painful thing in Java. When you are dealing with collections in Java, painful is you have to make sure that everything what we pass to collection is object. Then when you try to read them, you have to check whether it is object or not, and you do some kind of processing there. But here in Scala, you don't need to explicitly convert anything to the object. By default, all these are objects here. All data types are objects here. Ram, are you good now?
Yes,
That's
Manohar.
it.
Completed some point.
Still, do you have any doubt on this?
No, no.
But this is enough because we are not in Java. If it is Java thing, then we need to talk too much on this. We can talk more on this, but just giving a quick idea, that's all. Okay. So we don't need this because by default in Scala, all our data types are classes. So we don't need to go for doing any wrappers here. That is not necessary. Wrapper is converting. It is something which is used to convert a primitive to object. Like if it is a chocolate, you try to convert it from chocolate form to this. When you put a cover, you can see that is a wrapper part, right? So that's it. So that's about integer, guys. We use all these 4 keywords. And what is the difference? We'll see. Soon I am going to explain data types. You get a clear picture now. Now decimal. Decimal means numbers with fraction. Number with the fraction. That is one thing. And here, what is that we use here? Something like 10.5, something like 8.6, something like this, sir. Minus infinity to plus infinity with fractions, okay? And you declare this decimals with float or something like double like this, sir. You got it right? How do you declare? You declare with something like float or double. These are the classes which we use. Of course, don't forget to mention capital F and capital T here. That is very important. Let us quickly declare and test all these values once. Something like val space a colon byte equal to 10, and then short equal to 10, and then int equal to 10, and then long equal to 10, and then okay, that's how you declare integers. Of course, values it's your choice. It's not necessary to initialize 10 for every value. Okay, every variable. You can assign whatever you want. Okay. Similarly, you can test for float as well, sir. You can do like this. Something like float. Okay. Something like double. Working, right? So these are all numbers, sir. Got it right? Next one after this. Once you get a bigger picture about numbers, the next one is about Boolean. Last type of constants is a Boolean constant. So Booleans means, what do you mean by Boolean? Boolean means either it will take two values, true or false. What it takes? It takes a true or false. Okay, these are Boolean. These are built-in literals. What are these? These are built-in literals. Got clarity, no? So how do you declare them? This just two values are there. We don't have many like numeric values or character values. Just two values, either true or false. Okay. These are useful, very useful in condition checks. Where these are useful? In condition checks. Following. Okay. Let me just tell one more important. Suppose you take any condition, A greater than B, or anything. There are so many conditions you need to work when you start dealing with programming. Any condition returns, when you evaluate any condition returns a Boolean value. What value? A Boolean value. Okay. So if you say A greater than B, it should return true or false based on the input. Suppose you give A as 10, B as 5. 10 greater than 5, it's true. 10 less than 5, it's false. So any condition will return a Boolean value. Okay? It might be true or false. Okay? If you want to quickly test, you can test it here. Sir. You can just say some 10 greater than 5 here. You got it right. I just use a direct condition here. What it's showing here, it's showing it's a Boolean. 10 greater than 10 less than 5, it's false. So what is the point here? Any Boolean will return either true or either false. That's also. Or any condition will return either true or false. Understood? No? Now, next one. This is all about data and their values and the data type we use to declare each type of data. We have seen that. And here to declare Boolean, which class do we use? We use a class called Boolean itself. We'll quickly test it once. Okay. I declare something, val a colon Boolean equal to some. You have to give true and false. You can't give whatever you want. If you declare something as Boolean, you must and should provide only true or false. Don't try to give any integers or don't try to give any decimals. It will work in C, but still it won't work in Java, then C# as well as in Scala. Even in Python, it won't work. Okay. Right. So what else then? That's all about data. So now we have successfully understood the constants. And let me just switch to the next topic, data types. What is the data type, guys? Now we understood so far about data, and you can also call it as values. Okay, you can also call it as literals, or what we can call them as literals, or you can call them as constants. Any name is fine. Okay, and we found that we have all this type of data. We have a char data, we have a integer data, and we have decimal data, and we have Boolean data. We have string data. I'm keeping string at the end because just to give some order, that's all. String don't have any size here, but whereas other data types has sizes. That's why I put at the end. String is a pure class without size, whereas these are classes which has size for each type of data type. Sorry. This is data, guys. Then what else we need? We need just a quick examples here. For character, how do you declare? When you see something character, character type of data. Here, what I mean is character type, not single character. Okay? For a character in sense default, you assume it as single character. What do you think? When I say character, it is a single character because string we call as a string in Scala. Even in Java or C# we call them as strings. Okay. So when you say character type of data in Java or in Scala or in C#, even okay, then it becomes a single character. And how do you? What is an example? You put something in quotes. Integer means just a number without fraction. You can take any number of your choice. Decimal means a number with the fraction. So that is one more. Something like some 16 point, some 9, something like this. Boolean Boolean means it takes either true or false. That's all. Okay, you can give some value here. String means something in double quotes. I'm just giving you quick examples. Okay, string means something like I just give it like Manohar here. So that's how we declare this data or values or literals or constants. Okay. Then what about the next one? When you know data, then you should know about data type. What is that? Data type here. What is a data type? If you just observe this, data type. Okay. Data type means I just use some split it with some space here. If you see, just to make you quick understand quickly, data type means it tells about the type of data we use in program. That's what it is. What is it? When you talk about data type, a data type is a class in Scala which tells about type of data which we use in a program. So if it is other languages, they are keywords. It is a keyword which used to tell about the type of data. It's all same, sir. The concept or the fundamentals is same for you start from C. All this came from C only. Okay. It is used to tell type of data we use in a to whom to whom it tells to the compiler. It makes compiler understand. Okay, my dear compiler, this is some integer data. This is some float data. This is some double data. When you declare a data type, then your compiler understands. And you can ask me, sir, you told in Scala, even if you don't declare data type, still it works, right? Yes. If you don't declare, then your Scala compiler will internally check the data and it will assign data type. It's like a mother kind of thing here. Usually mothers, if you don't have money, they will check whether you have money or not, and they will give money to you. Okay, my dear son or daughter, you keep this money for pocket, for expenses. That's like this here. If you don't declare data type, your compiler will allocate data type for you. It depends on the data you initialize. You got it right. So that's what data type is. It tells about type of. Then how do you declare character? Which data type we use? All these are classes. Again, one more important point is uh, every data type. Every data type in Scala is a class. Okay, everything is an object here. To declare character, we use a class called, what is that class here? Our class is a yeah. To declare integer, we use 4 different data types here. What are those 4 here? Those 4 are something like byte, something like short, something like okay, int. Here it's just 3 characters only. Don't take integer. It's in Java, not in Scala. Last one is long. We have tested all that, sir. You remember, we have tested every sample at the command line. Okay, we will use Eclipse as for soon from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We'll start with Eclipse because command line is good. Even using Eclipse is best. To declare decimal, we have 2 types of decimal constants. What is that? Float and double. So to declare them, for that we use a float data type. And the second one is we use something like double data. Is it clear, right? What do you use here? We use a float and double. Understood? Right. Next one after that is a Boolean. To declare Boolean, we use a data type or a class called, what is that? Something like Boolean itself. Are you following this? So that's all about data types, sir. Is it clear for you now? Yes, sir. Please tell me. Understood now? Then what else we have to talk here now? We have to just quickly understand size and range. One more thing here is this is about data types. What data, what data type we should use? We know this. Are you clear with Now, what is the size of each data type? If it is char, it is 2 bytes. How many bytes char uses, sir? 2 bytes. Sometimes 1 byte equal to how many bits, sir? 8 bits. Remember that. Per byte, the data type size is 1 byte. And then for short, it is 2 bytes. And then for int, it is 4 bytes. For long, it is 8 bytes. And float, it is again 4 bytes. These are all fixed things. There is nothing I am giving with my own these things, sir. Okay, everything is there in the documentation. You can check it. 8 bytes. And for Boolean, there is no size, sir. No size. They didn't mention any size here. And for string, even for string also, we use the data type string here. And there is no size for string, sir. They didn't mention any size here. No specific size. Okay. So now that's all about sizes. Okay. Then what else? Ranges. What are the ranges here? You need to understand ranges to deal with conversions, data conversions. And if you don't have proper idea of ranges, sometimes you might get confused. So just have a quick idea about ranges. You don't need to remember, but at least have that idea. Okay, the range of byte is byte has some certain range, or short has certain range, or int has certain range, or float has certain range, or character has certain range. Keep that in mind, so that is useful to you. When you learn this data conversion in the next session itself, type conversion. Otherwise, how do you convert one data type to another data type? How do you apply casting concept? Very important and useful to you. Okay. So the ranges. Next, we have to talk about the ranges here. The ranges are like this, sir. Is that something like 0 to 65,530? And if you look at that, we start from very 0 here, positive, very positive value. And if you see, we don't have any negative range here. If you observe carefully, we don't have a negative range. You know why? Because character is the unsigned data type. What data type here? Unsigned. It doesn't accept negative values. Unsigned means which accepts only positive. Okay, even okay, you can use it even in for vocabulary also. Be an unsigned person means be a positive person. Just a quick, no, just for fun. But actually, unsigned means it accepts only positive values, no negative. Signed means it accepts positive and negative. All these are signed actually. This integer and decimal are signed data types. And Boolean has just two values. We don't need to talk about whether it is signed or unsigned because they are not numbers. Usually we apply sign for numbers, not for this Boolean or string. Okay. Then you can ask me character is alphabets, all that are there, right, sir? Then you are saying this is unsigned. But you look at the range of character here. What is the range of character here? It is showing all integers. If you ask me that question, you can see all integers here. Means what? It has a numeric range internally. Means then this is a bit of confusion to you. Suppose here you see, I'll just show you one small example. What is that? Val space a:\char equal to some single quotes A. Enter. You know what is this? You are printing a char here. I give A. When I give A, this A internally will have an ASCII value. Sorry, I'm sorry. Scala uses Unicode. It doesn't use ASCII. ASCII for C++. But for Scala, it uses what it uses? It uses Unicode, a 16-bit representation of a character. We call it as Unicode, universal code. Okay. So here this becomes 97. Okay, what is the value of A here? The value of A is 97. Now the question is, so what is this now? If it is 97, means I gave here a character value, but I'm saying that internally it is having 97. Means what? Every character you use, not for string, every character we use in Scala or Java, C Sharp, internally it has some Unicode value. Then this character is converted to that Unicode in internally. Compiler will take care of that. Okay? That's what happened here. So point is simple. Somewhere long back I read in some text. There is no such thing like characters in programming. Namesake we have characters, but every character is internally an integer. Got the point, right? Means we are just wearing a shirt like character, that's all. But even that character has some value inside, which is nothing but an integer. So that's why the range positive here, and the number, a numeric range. Got it right? So that is one thing. Remember, you have almost how many values here? 65,536. As it starts from 0, we are just saying -1 to this. Okay, we are deducting -1 from the that right side range. So it will come up to 65,535. Now, what is the range of byte actually? To quickly remember, I'm just saying that -2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. What is this 2 power 7, sir? Why did you bring this? 1 byte means 8 bits. Remember, I'm just quickly explaining. 1 byte means 8 bits. In that 8 bits, 1 bit is a sign bit. You exclude that sign bit, and remaining 7 bits are used to store value. So that's why I am calculating range for that remaining 7 bits, excluding the sign. Even same thing is applicable short and int and long, but not for float and double. That is not applicable for decimal data. It's applicable only for integer data. So again, that's why you have to deduct -1 because 0 is included in the middle. That's why you always say -1 here. Okay. One more thing, gentlemen, is minus 2 power. No, if it is short 2 bytes, 2 bytes means how many bits here? 15 bits. Means what is the range? 2 power 15 to 2 power 15 minus 1. Okay. What about 4 bytes? Minus 2 power 32 to, sorry, 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1. 8 bytes minus 2 power 63 to 2 power 63 minus 1. Okay. So that's all about this one. Got it right? That is idea about integer ranges. Means if we just a quick example, the range of byte is -128 to 127 in number form. How much? What is the range of byte? If you convert it to, that's easy to calculate powers. It is a -128 to 127. Okay, that is range of byte. Okay. If you observe here, suppose I take a byte data type here, we just see here, use a byte. I am assigning a value till 127. It's fine. Now I am giving 128. I got an error. Can you see that? Why I told you just have a quick glance or quick look at ranges is this is important to understand this topic here. When I give 128, it is saying type mismatch. It is saying
Hello,
what it is saying.
ఇంట్లోనే రెడీ
Uh,
వస్తున్నా.
my dear son, please mute your machine. Okay. Here, what is this here? What is this here? You are giving 128, but is 128 within range of byte? Now it is excluding the range. Then immediately it is saying type mismatch, found integer, required byte. Means what? This is one important point. By default, all your number this integers, all integers are int type. What type? Int type. All are int type. Except when they are within the range, it becomes byte. Suppose if it is within the range -128 to 127, it is a byte value. If it exceeds that value, by default, it will convert it to integer. Understood, right? Clear, right? Means you need to understand all these fundamentals. See, if you want to write good program, having command on these things is very important. Many people ignore these things and they struggle in coding. Trust me. You might think, do we really need such basic things to write the sophisticated logic? That everybody know that if fundamentals are strong, then you can write a better code. If you don't have proper understanding of fundamentals, you never write a better code. If you don't trust me, you will understand that if you start working in some program. Got it? Otherwise, you throughout your career, you have that fear of programming. That insecurity will always make you suffer, and always you don't be happy, and you don't feel happy for others also, because that's what happens in software, right? If you don't work, or if you don't have skills, that insecurity drives us. And if somebody is doing, we feel bad about it. That is what I am seeing, in our day-to-day work also. But if you don't want to have such insecurities, then master your basics first, fundamentals. Got it, right? So what is the point here now? This is not within the range. When it is not within the range, automatically you got an error. That's what is very important here. So it becomes an integer. And then how do you fix it? It has to be inside where? It has to be inside within the range. But still you can go for casting. There is another concept that we'll see tomorrow. We can apply something called casting here. Got it, right? So let me just show you that. So what is the range of decimals here? Clear, right? You got some idea about what if we exceed the range here? You got some idea. Then I am moving to the next topic. Range of byte and this float and double. I'll just quickly tell you. It is something like 3.4 e minus 38. It is an exponential form. E minus 38 means 10 to the power of minus 30. Don't try to understand too much. You don't need it. Just remember that's all. Usually, if it is integer, we look into the ranges, we do some conversions, all this stuff. For decimals, I don't think you face problem with your ranges, because decimals have very good range. So far, I did see having issues with the decimals, but I see most of the time having issue with the range of which one? With the ranges of integers. Okay. So, and the range of double is this e point 1.7 e minus 3082 1.7 e plus 308. So that's it, guys. These are the ranges. For Boolean, you know the range, right? All of you know this. The very tough range we have. What is that? We have just two values, true or false. Okay. For string, anyhow, there is no range, because there are infinite strings. You cannot bring them and talk about the range of string. Any string can be a value of string. Okay. So no specific range here. Okay. That's idea about the data types. Got it? This is the whole chart. Okay. If you want, just prepare it in your notebook. This is same for Java, same for C Sharp. For Python, of course, it's a different thing, because we don't have any data type or we don't have ranges explicitly, but still ranges are there even in Python. It will show you, but they are more like they are very dynamic. Even in Scala and C Sharp also, you see a similar kind of approach. The concept of data type is same, the concept of size is same, and range is same. But size might change a bit here. We don't have so many data types in C and C++. We have just char and intent, float and double. We have qualifiers like short and long. Okay, means almost all these are there in even C and C++. Many people don't know that. These people bought everything from there only, sir. Understood? That's why if you master one language, you are mastering many languages. Got it, right? So are you good with your data type now? So this is one of the very finest topic. Then we have to talk about data conversion to typecasting. Very important and useful. And that will close this one. And then I will switch to the operators topic. Operators hardly takes some 20 to 20 minutes to half an hour. That's all. So we will close that, and then I will switch to the next topic is looping. Actually, the fundamentals, like what are those fundamentals? The control statements like decision making, and then loops. Then we switch to the switch case. Like we develop with something called case keyword. We don't have direct switch here, like in our Java or C or C++. We do it in a different way. We will see that in the next coming sessions. Okay. So that's what, sir. Keep learning and keep asking questions. Yeah. Any more questions here? Okay. Get deeper into the coding part. That is important. How much syntax you learn is not useful, sir. How many programs you work or how much you apply in coding is important. Okay. As we are doing from scratch, you have an opportunity to understand everything from very basic. But for that, you need a bit of discipline and dedication and regularity. But it's up to you, sir, because okay, you have to have that determination. But still, the sessions are available in the YouTube. Nothing to worry about. Understood? So, any more questions? What did we discuss today? Let me quickly conclude our session today. Stop this because I have another session again. What did we discuss today? We started discussing today constants, and we came to know how many types of constants are there. Just quickly answer in the chat boxes. Okay, how many constants are there? Come on, sir. How many? Keep answering, sir. Okay. What is the difference between single character and string, sir? Okay. What is the difference between single character and string? Okay, there is a engine. Okay. Sizes, okay, that's fine. And also single character should be in single quotes, string should be in double quotes. Yep. Okay. Next one. What is the difference between integer and decimal? Integer has a integer doesn't have fraction, decimal have fraction. Okay. Okay. Next one. Finally, Boolean. What are the Boolean values do we have here? That's really good. And then what else? We have discussed about data types. To declare character constant, what is the class we use? Another question is, what are all these data types? Are these classes or keywords in Scala? What are all these? Are data types in Scala are classes or keywords? Oh, that's a class. Yes. You understand it better when I teach you the object-oriented programming. Okay. You'll get a detailed idea about classes. You don't need to worry about it. I'll make sure that you get it. Then what else? How do you declare character? What is the class used to declare character? Okay, char class. Okay. What is the class used to declare string? String itself. What is the class used to declare integer? We have 4 different classes. What are those? We have 4 classes. Byte, short. We have byte. We have short. We have int. We have long. What are the classes used to declare decimal? We have float. We have double. Okay, that is fine. What else we have discussed? What is class used to declare Boolean? What do you have there? Use something Boolean itself. Yes, right? Then how do you declare a data type, sir? What is the syntax of data type? Now you tell me the syntax, how it looks like. The keyword, okay, where are val keyword, where are val space, var name, okay, colon, data type, okay, then equal to value. If you are from engineering colleges, you might expect dynamic initialization. Yeah, that is still there even in Scala. We'll see that if you go little further. Okay, we'll talk on that. Equal to some value. Okay. So that's it. Do we really need to declare data type in Scala? Is it necessary? Is data type really necessary in Scala? Still, can we move further? Right? Can we proceed or not? Yes. But is it recommended to have data type, or is it recommended not to have data type? Which is the best? Using data type is a good approach, or without data type is the best approach? It is recommended. Why? Because it increases readability, and also it will also perform optimization, because your compiler doesn't need to check what data is it, and it doesn't need to assign data type to that. It is all performance related stuff. Also performance wise also you are trying to pull it down. You are pulling your own code down. It's up to you. Okay. So I hope this is perfect still, right? Till this point. Now you can ask questions if you have anything. Otherwise, we'll take a break today. I think coronavirus is causing a lot of inconvenience to many people. Take care of it. Okay, use masks.
This
Session.
conference will now be recorded.
Why it's getting recorded? Some kind of demon is there in my machine. Okay, I just